Durrell Coleman, Agape Forest, number 89. I got some questions. I need answers. So I got Joel Knight of the Apple Creek Golden Apples on the line. Joel!
Yo.
So I got some questions.
Speak.
You guys are playing the defending champions, Toronto East Titans.
Okay.
How do you plan to sink the Titanic, Joel? I mean, these guys are the fastest team in the league. They're clearly the best team in the league. They have the best record. That makes them the best. You can't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go into this game believing you can win?
Well, we do have a lot of good, talented players on our team. In which we just figure now if we just play our game plan and don't get sucked into their game plan or their strategies, that will definitely be a hard team to beat. So we're just going to go in with our game plan, our strategies, and just play to our strengths and not get sucked into what they would probably want us to do or their strategies or things like that.
So regardless of what they throw at you, you guys aren't changing. You're just going to play your game.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, now, of course, last year there were a lot of things said in that playoff game, before the playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as though if there was one team in this league that we would consider a rival, we don't have rivals because we're Adventists and we're Christians, but if there was one, this would be the team. Why?
I would like to put these guys in Toronto West as our rivals. The reasoning being, these guys are our rivals because we have a strong team, a very strong team, and they did beat us last year. And so it seems like every time we play them, it's always a good game. It always comes down to like the last couple plays and things like that. So it's always been a strong game that we have between the two of us. And they bring out the best in us, and I would like to assume that we bring out the best in them. And because we are, or a lot of us are friends, makes it so much better. Also at Toronto West, same thing. I wasn't there when we played Toronto West. But Sheldon and Darnell are two of my closest friends, and they do a lot of talking, which maybe it's just a personal rivalry with me, so I shouldn't say our team. But that, in my mind, it would be Toronto West and Toronto East. That would be the rivals for me, and I guess the Apple Creek Golden Apples.
Now, I know a lot of people, Joel, and I've heard that East, if there's one team in the league, East is the one team that has the matchup for Joel Knight. They are convinced that they have the rusher, they have the perfect personnel to slow you down. How do you feel about that going into the game? Is that insulting? Are you insulted by that?
Not at all. It doesn't bother me. Tristan Walker is a very good rusher, and he runs on my relay team sometimes. What they don't realize, and I guess I won't tell all the secrets away, is by putting Tristan as their rusher, I personally think it hurts them.
Why is that?
I don't want to give all the secrets away. But I mean, by all means, if they think that it slows me down, then by all means, maybe it does slow me down. But then I'm going to make it a point or a fact that if I can't run, well, then you're going to have to respect the arm. And I'm going to do my best to, I guess, get my players open, give them the right place to run, and hopefully I can hit them if, by all means, I cannot run.
And I haven't seen that happen too many times, Joel, to be honest. I think you run whenever you want. If I was you, I'd personally be offended, insulted.
Well, I've never heard any East players say that. So when they do say that, then I will take offense to that, and then it may hurt them. But we'll see if that ever happens.
All right, that's all I got for you, Joel, today. My final question, just before I go, if you could play one team, providing you win the championship on Sunday, if you can play Toronto West or Perth in the finals, who would you play and why?
No offense to Perth. I think they're a very good team, but it would be Toronto West. I've never played Toronto West before, and because Sheldon and Darnell are constantly sending me messages about how they beat Apple Creek already. It would be good just to play them and shut them up, so I don't have to hear their foolishness for a full year. So my pick would definitely be Apple Creek versus Toronto West. Would be my choice for the finals.
Sounds good, Joel. See you on Sunday.
All right, take care.
Folks, it's number 89 of the Agape Force. I have one interview left to do. I've been trying to get someone from the Toronto East Titans on the phone. These guys must run a business on the side of winning championships, because I can't get any of these guys on the phone. So you hear me dialing. Will they pick up? It's a different story here, folks. We're just gonna let it ring out, see what happens, because I need answers. And I need answers now.
Hello?
Tristan Walker.
Sure.
Tristan Walker, the Toronto East Titans, folks. We've been trying to get someone from the Titans on the phone for 72 hours.
You got him. What up?
So let's get right to it. You guys are playing Apple Creek, and you guys don't like each other.
I don't think anyone likes Apple Creek, but yeah, you are correct.
No one likes Apple Creek. You guys are playing them again in the conference finals. How are you gonna seal the deal on Sunday?
We're just gonna continue doing what we've been doing all season. We had a good momentum coming out of last season. We just tried to carry it into this season and just remain consistent with what we do. There's not anything different we're gonna do necessarily in terms of playing Apple Creek or anyone else for that matter, but we do understand what it means to play Apple Creek going into this game, you know?
So, interesting word, consistent. You guys have won the championship last year. You won the tournament. You have the best record in the league this year. How are you so consistent?
You know what it comes down to, and we've noticed a common trend throughout the league in a sense where a lot of teams are kind of picking up on what we've kind of created on our end of the football is the team infrastructure aspect of it. You know, last year, people always want to talk and say, oh, these guys have 1,000 people on their sideline and they have coaches and all this and that. And it's cool. People could talk about it however they want, but the reality is that is the case, and that is the reason that we're winning. That team infrastructure. We have found a way in our past few years as a team together to organize ourselves and just kind of mimic what we see in terms of the professional way the game is played and whatnot, and bring it into this DFL league, and it's worked. We went from being one of the worst teams to winning a championship, and it's because of that. We have coaches now. We have matching jerseys now. Like, the little things are what matter. The little things that make you feel as a team and play as a team are the things that are important, and that's just what we've developed in the past few years.
Exactly. That's the secret to success for Toronto East. We're going to get back to Apple Creek. But before we do that, in the West, Toronto West and Perth are going to go at it. Now, if you could choose one team to play against in the West in the finals, who is it going to be?
That's tough. That's tough because, to be honest with you, with Perth, they had a lot more trash talk, to say the least, than Toronto West did. And that's also the game that I got injured in, and it set my season back a little bit. So I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of excitement when it comes to Perth. But West, even though we did beat them in our first game of the season, they had a mouthful themselves, and they're a newer team. So, it'd be good to kind of play West again, just to let them know that the first time wasn't a fluke, and to let them know who's really out here running the show. You know what I mean? So
wow.
Between the two, I would rather. I'd probably rather play Perth because they're more of a seasoned team, and they're more. There's more of a rivalry, I guess you could say, because West is their first year in the league, and they are good, and they are a threat to any team in the league. But I think just because, mainly me personally speaking, it's the game I got injured, and it's the reason why, they beat us in a sense. I would love to play them again with me on the field,
So Perth, you heard it here. You and Tristan Walker have some unfinished business.
Most definitely.
That needs to be settled, so you need to get to the finals, because Toronto East is going to the finals.
You better believe that.
Now, with Apple Creek, they have a lot of weapons. Do you think they're a different team than last year? Do you think they're a better team? Same team?
To be frank about it, I think they're a bit lesser this year than they were last year, in my opinion. And to make that even worse, their best defensive player, who's Jason Knight, it won't be there as well. So, that's a huge plus side for us. However, it's not something we're trying to focus on or in any way take away from them, because we know that somehow they'll compensate. We know Apple Creek always has tricks up their sleeve, and I mentioned the word consistency before. They are another team that has shown consistency every single year being in the league. So we don't take that lightly, but we also recognize that, especially in the game against you guys, where you guys put up a good fight. They didn't look the same. They didn't come out strong, and we expect them to do the total opposite against us. We expect them to come out strong and come out hungry. But the reality is, from what we've seen from them this year, we know they're one of the stronger teams in the league, but we have no reason to really fear them in any way.
Wow. Well, I've heard several times throughout the league. I know a lot of people in the league. Everyone loves me, and basically, they feel like Toronto East is the only team that can slow down Joel Knight.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that is where specifically Tristan Walker's name was called. He's the X factor in this game. If they win, it's because Tristan Walker has a good game. Now,
no. I'm going to correct you on that. I wouldn't say that that's the sole reason for us winning. However, I do feel that there's a bit of there's something that comes up in Joel. I don't want to put a title on it. I don't want to judge his character or anything like that. But whenever he sees me in front of him, the game is a little bit different for him. 100% about that. But one thing I can say is that, hey, I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag. But there's no guarantees that I will be the one in front of him.
Wow.
We'll see what happens in that respect. But either way, the key to the game, like you said, is right. That's 100% key to the game. We have to do that.
Well, what I'm gonna ask you just before you go, it's a difficult question.
Okay.
If you could choose one player in the league to be on your team, you can't choose yourself. Who are you choosing? Who's that one guy in the league that you're like, I would love to have this guy on my team. Me and him, we can't lose a game.
Right. Wow, that is a tough question. This league has a lot of good players, a lot of extremely good talent. I look at it like the NFL, like the NBA. Every team, even as crappy as the team might be, has a couple players where you're like, yeah, that's, those guys are nice.
Exactly.
So with that said, every team has those one or two players that I would love to say, yeah, I would love them to be on Toronto East. But if I had to pick one player that would really complete Toronto East, that's tough, man, because I personally feel, we're pretty solid in every necessary position.
Right now, Toronto East doesn't even need any help.
You know what? I would go as far as to say that, but to answer your question, shoot, man.
There's got to be one. There's got to be one guy that you've seen and you're like, you know what? He's a problem. When we play against them, we scheme for just this one guy, and it's a problem every game. If he was on this team, it would be an absolute wrap.
Right. That's tough, man. That is absolutely tough. I mean,
the struggle just shows that the guys in the league are not working hard enough to earn the respect. They're not working hard enough.
They have the respect. So don't get it twisted. They have the respect. I just feel like very confident in my team that, we don't really need anyone else. I mean, we probably never will. In terms of bringing people from other teams.
We'll leave it at that.
But, I mean, you know what? Let's keep it divisional. Let's keep it in the East. I would say that if we had the help of... man, this is tough. I'm trying to think what side of the ball really needs help for us, and neither. I would say, I mean, you're a really good player yourself. If you were on our team, we'd definitely be a problem because you could do a few things yourself. And on the defensive end, I would say Jason Knight. So
okay,
that's what it is.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but if I was on your team, you guys wouldn't lose a football game at all.
I feel confident in saying that as well. I do.
For sure. I don't think anybody would dispute that. They'd be crazy. But we'll leave it at that. You heard it here first, folks. Tristan Walker, he's going up against Apple Creek with the Toronto East Titans, going to defend the title. It's personal. They have to win this game, and then they want to see Perth in the finals.
We do want to see Perth, yes.
They want to see
and can I also mention that it's a great travesty and disappointment that Mount Olive didn't make it, because that is one team that to answer your question earlier, that's one team I would love to see in the final. But hey, too late for them. So.
Really? Why is that? Why Mount Olive?
Because there's a guy on that team by the name of Jay Jones, who loves to run his mouth to me. As many people might know, I work at a barbershop downtown, and he frequents this barbershop. He likes to get his haircut here, and in doing so, I do hear his gum flapping almost every single time, and he has a mouthful of words, and he never has a good excuse as to why they lose or as to why something went wrong, So I would love to have played him, and not to mention every time Toronto East plays Mount Olive, I'm injured, which has been last year and this year. I didn't get to play either of those games, so that's a game I've been itching to play, but like I said, unfortunately, they didn't cut it, and they didn't make it, so it won't happen. And that's a shout out to Jay Jones right there. I want to big him up. And also, I want to mention Carl. Carl is also a very troubling quarterback. I wanted an opportunity to play against him as well because, like we mentioned before, I can handle Joey, and I feel like I handle Carl too. I just never had the opportunity, but he's a problem. So I would like to play him. But
wow, you heard it here first.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
You heard it here first. Junior Jones, Tristan wants to cut your hair on and off the field. Carl Brown. If you made it, Tristan would also pose a problem for you.
Yeah, I do think so.
Right now, it's just Apple Creek. Once they get through that, they're ready for whoever's next.
Yeah.
Tristan, sir, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck tomorrow, on Sunday, rather.
All right, man. Thanks.
Take care.